you're actually more attractive now than you were in your 20s, and you don't even realize it. While every magazine, every advertisement, every movie tries to convince you that your best years are behind you, the truth is quietly unfolding right in front of your eyes. You're walking past mirrors thinking you've faded, questioning if men still notice you, wondering if your time has somehow passed. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about aging and attractiveness is not just wrong, but completely backwards? The women who capture hearts, who turn heads, who inspire deep, lasting desire aren't the ones desperately chasing their youth. They're the ones who've discovered something far more powerful, something that can't be bought, can't be faked, and only gets stronger with time. You see, real attraction has very little to do with smooth skin or perfect bodies. It lives in your energy, your presence, the way you've learned to move through the world with intention. Right now, as you're watching this, there are probably signs all around you that you're incredibly attractive. Small moments you've dismissed, compliments you've brushed off, glances you've missed entirely. In today's video, we're uncovering 7 powerful signs that reveal you're a highly attractive older woman, even if society has convinced you otherwise. These aren't superficial markers, they're deeper truths about the magnetic power that comes with experience, wisdom, and the quiet confidence of a woman who knows herself. Stay with me, because once you start recognizing these signs, the way you see yourself will never be the same. Before we dive into these 7 signs, you need to understand something fundamental about attraction that most people get completely wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that attractiveness peaks early and fades fast, that a woman's power diminishes with each passing year. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Real attraction operates on layers that most young women haven't even discovered yet. Sure, youth has its appeal, but it's often one-dimensional. It's surface-level magnetism that burns bright and burns out quickly. What you possess now is something infinitely more sophisticated. You've developed emotional depth, authentic confidence, and a presence that can't be manufactured or mimicked. Think about the women you truly admire, the ones who command respect, who draw people in, who make others feel immediately at ease. Are they necessarily the youngest in the room? Probably not. They're the ones who've learned to own their space, speak their truth, and carry themselves with genuine self-assurance. You've lived through heartbreak and learned to heal. You've faced challenges that would have overwhelmed your younger self and discovered strength you didn't know you had. You've refined your style, your preferences, your boundaries. You know what works for you and what doesn't. You've stopped apologizing for taking up space and started embracing the fullness of who you are. This journey has created something remarkable, authentic magnetism, not the desperate for attention energy of insecurity, but the calm, steady pull of a woman who is comfortable in her own skin. You don't need everyone to like you because you've learned to like yourself. You don't need constant validation because you've found your own worth. And here's what's beautiful about this transformation. It's invisible to you because it happened gradually. You can't see the way your posture has shifted from apologetic to assured. You don't notice how your voice has deepened from uncertain to knowing. You miss the way people lean in when you speak, how conversations flow more easily around you, how others seek your opinion and value your perspective. This is why the 7 signs we're about to explore might surprise you. They're happening in your everyday life, but you're not trained to recognize them as markers of attractiveness. You've been taught to look for the wrong things, to measure your appeal by outdated standards that never captured the full picture of what makes a woman truly captivating. So as we move through these signs, I want you to pay attention not just to whether they apply to you, but to how they make you feel. Notice any resistance, any voice that says, that couldn't be about me. That voice has been protecting you from disappointment, but it might also be protecting you from recognizing your own power. The first sign that you're a highly attractive older woman is subtle, but incredibly powerful. People tell you things, real things, Deep things, personal things they don't share with just anyone. Maybe it's the barista who mentions her relationship troubles while making your coffee, the neighbor who stops you on the street to ask advice about her teenage daughter, the colleague who finds reasons to chat in your office about more than just work. These aren't random conversations. They're drawn to something in your energy that feels safe, trustworthy, and wise. This happens because you've developed what I call emotional spaciousness. You're not so caught up in your own drama that you can't hold space for someone else's. You listen without immediately offering solutions. You respond without judgment. You create a bubble of calm where others can breathe and be honest. Young women often carry an urgency, an intensity that can feel overwhelming. They're still figuring themselves out, still reactive, still learning how to process their own emotions. But you've been through the fire. You've learned that most problems aren't emergencies, that feelings pass, that people mostly need to be heard rather than fixed. When someone shares something personal with you, they're not just making conversation. They're recognizing something magnetic about your presence. They sense your emotional maturity, your capacity for understanding, your ability to keep their secrets safe. This is incredibly attractive, not just to friends, but to men who are looking for something real. Think about it. When a man can trust you with his vulnerabilities, when he feels emotionally safe in your presence, attraction deepens into something much more powerful than surface level chemistry. He begins to see you as someone he could build something with, someone who understands the complexities of life and relationships. You might dismiss these moments of connection as simply being a good friend or a caring person, but don't underestimate the magnetic pull of genuine emotional intelligence. In a world full of superficial interactions, your ability to create real connection stands out like a beacon. The next time someone opens up to you unexpectedly, recognize it for what it is. They're responding to your attractive energy. They're drawn to the depth, stability, and wisdom that radiates from a woman who has learned to be truly present for others. This emotional magnetism only grows stronger with age, making you infinitely more captivating than you were when you were younger but less emotionally available. The second sign is one you might not fully appreciate. Your personal style has reached a level of sophistication that younger women spend years trying to achieve. You've stopped following every trend and started curating a look that reflects who you actually are. This isn't about expensive clothes or perfect makeup. It's about the way you've learned to dress for your body, your lifestyle, your personality. You know which colors make your eyes shine. You understand what cuts flatter your figure. You've discovered the scents that feel like you, the hairstyles that work with your natural texture rather than against it. Watch how people respond to you when you're dressed in something that feels authentically you. There's a confidence in your posture, an ease in your movements that wasn't there when you were trying to fit into someone else's idea of beautiful. You've stopped apologizing for your choices and started owning them completely. Men notice this evolution, even if they can't articulate why. They see a woman who knows herself, who makes intentional choices, who doesn't need external validation to feel beautiful. This self-assurance is incredibly attractive because it suggests that you bring that same thoughtfulness to everything else in your life. Your style tells a story now. It speaks of experience, of lessons learned, of a woman who has tried different versions of herself and settled into the one that feels most true. The jewelry you choose has meaning. The way you do your hair reflects your personality, not just the latest Instagram trend. Your wardrobe is a curated collection rather than a desperate attempt to keep up. This refinement extends beyond clothing. It's in how you set up your living space, how you choose to spend your time, how you present yourself to the world. You've developed taste, and taste is magnetic. It suggests depth, thoughtfulness, and the kind of self-knowledge that only comes with experience. Young women often struggle with this. They're still experimenting, still unsure, still looking to others for cues about who they should be. But you've done the work of figuring yourself out. You've tried on different identities and kept what serves you, discarded what doesn't. This shows up in countless small ways. The way you carry your purse, how you apply your lipstick, the confidence with which you walk into a room wearing exactly what makes you feel like yourself. These details create an overall impression of a woman who is completely comfortable in her own skin. When a man sees this kind of self-possession, this effortless elegance that comes from truly knowing yourself, it triggers something primal. He recognizes the presence of a woman who won't need him to validate her choices, who brings her own sense of style and substance to everything she touches. The third sign that you're highly attractive is perhaps the most powerful. You've learned to command respect without ever having to ask for it. This is a skill that most women don't master until later in life, and it's absolutely magnetic. You've stopped over-explaining your decisions. You don't apologize for taking up space. When you speak, people listen because they've learned that you don't waste words on meaningless chatter. Your voice carries weight because you've earned the right to have opinions and you're not afraid to share them. This shows up in small but significant ways. You don't laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You don't say sorry for things that aren't your fault. You don't shrink yourself to make others feel more comfortable. You've learned that respect is something you teach people to give you through your own behaviour. Men find this incredibly attractive because it suggests emotional maturity and self-worth. They're drawn to women who know their value and expect to be treated accordingly. It signals that you won't tolerate poor treatment, that you have standards, that you've learned from past experiences and won't repeat the same mistakes. Your boundaries are clear but not rigid. You can be flexible without being a pushover. You can be kind without being walked all over. You've mastered the art of saying no without feeling guilty, of standing your ground without being aggressive. This quiet authority extends to how you handle conflict. You don't create drama, but you don't avoid necessary conversations either. You address issues directly, but diplomatically. You've learned that most problems can be solved with clear communication rather than emotional manipulation or passive-aggressive behavior. People sense this strength in you and it draws them closer rather than pushing them away. They know where they stand with you. They don't have to guess at your thinking or walk on eggshells around your feelings. This creates a sense of safety that is deeply attractive. Young women often struggle with this balance. They either demand respect aggressively or fail to require it at all. But you've found that sweet spot where your self-worth is evident but not threatening, where your standards are high but not impossible to meet. When you walk into a room, you don't need to announce your presence. Your energy does it for you. People naturally make space for you, include you in conversations, seek your input on important matters. They respond to the quiet confidence that says, "I belong here," without arrogance or apology. This kind of authentic authority is magnetic because it's rare and it's earned. The fourth sign reveals something beautiful about how men perceive you. They genuinely want to know what you think, not just about surface level topics, but about real issues, important decisions, complex situations that matter to them. This is happening more often than you might realize. The way he pauses when making plans, asking what you'd prefer, how he brings up a work situation and actually listens to your advice, the way he seeks your perspective on family dynamics, relationship issues, even financial decisions. This isn't politeness. This is respect for your intelligence and wisdom. You've reached a point in life where your opinions carry weight because they're informed by experience. You've seen patterns play out, watched consequences unfold, learned from both successes and mistakes. Your perspective has depth that can't be found in textbooks or gained through theory alone. Men are instinctively drawn to this wisdom because it represents something they often lack: emotional intelligence combined with life experience. You can see situations from multiple angles, predict likely outcomes, offer guidance that goes beyond surface level solutions. This makes you incredibly valuable as a partner, not just romantically, but in every aspect of life. When a man consistently asks for your input, he's revealing something important about how he sees you. He views you as an equal, someone whose thoughts and insights enhance his own understanding. He's not just attracted to how you look, he's attracted to how you think, how you process information, how you navigate the world. This intellectual attraction is incredibly powerful because it deepens over time rather than fading. Physical beauty might captivate initially, but mental compatibility and emotional wisdom create lasting bonds. When a man finds himself genuinely curious about your thoughts, when your conversations leave him feeling enlightened rather than entertained, something profound is happening. You might take this for granted because it feels natural to you. Of course you have opinions. Of course you've learned things along the way. But don't underestimate how attractive this is to men who are tired of shallow interactions, who crave depth and substance in their relationships. The way you listen, process, and respond shows a level of emotional maturity that younger women often haven't developed yet. You ask thoughtful questions. You consider multiple perspectives. You offer insights rather than just reactions. This intellectual and emotional sophistication creates a different kind of attraction entirely. Men don't just want to be with you, they want to learn from you, grow with you, build something meaningful alongside you. The fifth sign is subtle but incredibly powerful. You've learned to be present without being desperate, available without being needy. This is what I call mysterious availability, and it's one of the most attractive qualities a woman can possess. You don't respond to texts immediately, not because you're playing games, but because you have a full life that doesn't revolve around your phone. You make plans and keep them, but you're not frantically filling every moment of your schedule. You enjoy your own company and don't need constant stimulation or validation from others. This balance creates an irresistible dynamic. You're warm and engaging when you're present, but you're not clingy or demanding when you're apart. You have interests, hobbies, friendships, and goals that exist independently of any romantic relationship. This makes men curious about your world rather than feeling suffocated by their importance in it. As we reach the end of our journey through these 7 signs, I want you to pause and reflect. How many of these resonated with your own experience? How many moments of recognition did you have? Those quiet, oh, that's me realizations that might have surprised you. If you recognized yourself in even a few of these signs, you need to understand something important. You are far more attractive than you've been giving yourself credit for. The woman you've become through years of experience, growth, and self-discovery possesses a kind of magnetism that simply cannot be replicated by youth alone. Your attractiveness now is not a pale shadow of what it once was. It's something entirely different, something deeper, something more substantial and lasting.